Let's first start with how you felt when you first heard this extraordinary news, when you first understood that you are AIR1.
So, I had initially not registered that I was AIR1 or All India Rank 1. The website had just said consideration pool and I had thought I was part of the waiting list. Waiting list rank 1.
So that was a little confusing, right? Because consideration pool is not something you expect when you're expecting happy news.
Yeah. You see, you at least expect a congrats or some sort of confetti dropping.
Exactly.
That was my expectation. And I saw consideration pool and I was like, okay, I think I'm in waiting list. Now, what happened was, I remember I called you people up, that results are out and you should check it. And one of the other people who studied with me, he had told me that he had gotten it, and I was ecstatic that he had gotten it, and I was sure I was going to clear my waiting list.
So he knew that this consideration pool actually meant...
No, he had checked his email first.
He had checked the admission letter.
Yeah, we are kind of going into a technicality here, but yeah, he registered that he had gotten it, while I had registered I was in waiting list. So now, it took me some time. I clarified it with my school, people in my school, and when sir said, I mean the principal of my school, sir said that, you are already in rank 1, I had gone blank for a moment, and then I remember I had just jumped up all over the house and this and that, and broken a few things also, as far as I remember.
What did you break?
I think there was I had checked on my computer and my hard disk was connected, had fallen off, and
this is new to me, I did not know this.
Yeah, the hard disk had its death that day. That's a different story. But yeah, so that's what happened. And then I think there was this entire thing we two had in school that who is going to bag AIR1.
Yeah, there was this
very healthy competition existed.
Everyone expected that either you or me were going to get the top 1 position.
Yeah. So now everybody just expected. Now all of that happens still at a very, what should I say? You don't feel that's very tangible.
Exactly, everyone is saying it and you are like, okay, they're just saying it.
Yeah, they're just saying it. You don't take it that seriously. But when it happens and you feel that, okay, that has been achieved, it hits you extraordinarily hard. And I mean, I was incredibly proud to kind of live up to that. And at the same time, I was really happy because I had put in effort and I was happy with the honesty of my efforts. To see that bear fruit for me, it felt very good.
Yeah, I remember actually in school, we once went up to the assembly and we declared our ambitions, right?
Yeah.
You said you will bag a top 20 position.
Yeah.
I also said the same thing. Shoham said that he
top
is
50.
going to get a top 50 position.
He did get it.
He did get it. He was AIR 50, I was 11, you were 1. Anyway, so 6 of us got through, which was incredible, even for us.
Absolutely.
It went beyond our own expectations.
That's 4% of the batch.
That's 6 out of 150 people.
Yeah.
Right? And actually 6 out of 16, as far as our batch goes. 16 of us tried and 6 of us got through. This is incredible. But I'm curious to know what, I know, but I think the audience is curious to know what the rest of the IPM batch reacted to this. Because this is unheard of. 6 people from Suri, which is a town, first of all, unheard of.
Yeah, so I'll go a bit more into saying more than just what they expected of our dance or their reaction to our dance. Because I've been there for a year and now I know how people are reacting to our presence there, general performance there. So one thing that very clearly distinguishes us from the rest of the crowd there is the kind of skill set that you bring. So we are much more prepared to take on any goal because I think our school gave couple of very few meta skills that are extremely useful in life.
Meta skills like
reading, writing, being able to speak well, being able to rationally think, all of that. Now, I think, so when they heard ranks, they're like, okay, that is something. Now, people got a hit. Now, people generally, there is something about this place, there is something about the water of this place, this entire...
about the school, Levelfield School.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's this entire kind of fable that has started around campus that there's something in the waters of Suri.
I spent 1.5 terms in the program
Yeah.
and then I left. This is something that people really get surprised at because you don't generally leave a top IIM. What happened was, see, it was business degree, right? So what is the point of a business degree? It's supposed to teach you to create value and it's supposed to teach you how to market that value.
Right.
Now, the thing with me was that all of us were part of the Levelfield School, which for 10 years has been incubating something that is really different from what is going on in the rest of the country. We have clearly built something that produces extraordinary results. And I myself am a product of this school, right? And its methods. All of us are.
All of us are, yeah.
So what I thought was that eventually I want to do something of my own. Eventually I want to create something that I can feel proud and satisfied about. And I thought the best place to learn how to do that and the best place to get support for that would be the place where I myself was built. Right? That's the Levelfield School, that's the place where the person I look up to the most, Mr. Banerjee, our mentor, we just call him Sir.
Yeah.
Right? So I really wanted to be with him. I thought he would be the person I would be learning the most from. And I wanted to get started early. I was just lucky to have this opportunity to work with Sir. And I knew that with his mentorship, I had a very good chance of making this work, this being SingleDigit, which is going to be providing coaching for IPMAT and SAE, some of the entrance exams that the IIMs are taking. So,
and some of the exams that we have done with us.
Some of the exams that we have clearly established our credentials in.
Yeah.
That is why I left, because I was lucky to have an opportunity that I believed was actually going to work. You have spent 1 year, and how are the expectations now? I mean, how have the expectations been met? Where are the shortcomings?
So, in terms of the peer group that I'm part of, I feel really lucky to be part of that peer group because it comes from all across the country. And I, as a person, I feel I have become much more receptive to a lot more perspective on any issue than I ever was before. Because let's say you may be in a great place and you may be exposed to a lot of perspective, right? But it's all at an intellectual level. When there are people coming in who actually have reason, some innate reason to believe in those particular principles that they ascribe to, then you actually feel it. So I think that has been a very fundamental innate personality-wise change that has happened in me. Academically, if you ask me, I think I have learned a lot. To be honest, the academics is extremely hectic, and I personally am not a big fan of that sort of hectic academics.
Right, we have some 8 courses per
term,
which is
24.
I think typical of most Indian institutes. We just want to jam pack as much as possible.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of that. But then again, there are professors who are like incredibly sharp, right? Now, there is always the classroom learning and outside the classroom learning. If you approach any professor and if you feel that, okay, your intellectual needs are not fully satisfied by whatever is happening within the classroom, they are more than willing to help you out.
So, a lot of resources.
Both
in terms of access to professors and I hear a great library.
Yes, absolutely. So, I think that is something. Also, it has, I think, allowed me to use my skill set that I developed here a lot because it comes in use every day. You are interacting with fresh
skill sets you have developed in the school.
In the school,
yeah.
Now, that just, I mean, it's not a. And skill is never something that, okay, you reach this line and you're like, okay, whistle blows and you stop developing it, right? It's a constant reinforcement process. And
the skill really that we learned in the school, I would say, is the skill of acquiring skills.
Yeah.
That's fundamental because
exactly.
Most people actually don't know how to go out there and learn on their own. But I think we are prepared far better for that. You yourself feel much more confident approaching professors and know what
anybody,
to ask for.
Not just professors, right? When you have that requisite skill set, you know that if you go up to somebody, if you walk up to somebody, you will be able to talk to them, you will be able to make a conversation. Now, I think that's a very important thing, and it's not just conversation, right? It's all the things, and I think I'm constantly sharpening my skills in some avenue or the other. Now, I feel very good that way because I don't feel that I have got my entire learning drive has got truncated in any way because of this. So that is something that I've been really enjoying. And also there are simply great seniors who have, and you have got a lot to learn from them. So that is something.
You are tag number 1, which means that you also did really good on the interview. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? How was the experience? Any tips since that's coming up soon?
So my one tip, like a go-to tip that I've given to every aspirant who has individually approached me, has been that interview is not a game that can be that you can do very well at with 1 week of preparation, because it requires long-term preparation. It requires some very fundamental aspects of skills, like you need to communicate well, you need to think very cogently and coherently, and finally you need to have the content to speak, right? For communications, obviously it's a lifelong reinforcement cycle. You learn, and if that's good, then you learn more. If that's something that does not work out, you roll back.
Pick up your interests and proceed on that.
Yeah. For being able to think clearly, I think this and being able to speak coherently they go completely hand in hand. As for the content, it's about how much you engage with your life, how much you engage with books, movies, anything.
Right, so something we did was that for about 1 year between when we got to know about IPL and we actually gave the exam, is that we were regularly reading newspapers, India magazine, we were discussing that as well among ourselves.
So I think the content part can still be taken care of in the sense that we can do some short-term preparation.
Short-term in this case is still like almost a year.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing. So don't try to game it. Just be honest in your approach. Just do it the correct way.
And you need to enjoy the interview.
Absolutely.
Foremost, because
I remember, for example, just to give you an anecdote, my interview, the 2 interviews are pretty stern, so I was a little intimidated by them, to be honest. But then I never showed that I was intimidated. I remained very calm and composed and gave the full interview. There were a few hiccups I also faced. There were a few questions I could not answer, and I don't think not being able to answer a question is a massive blow to your overall performance, because it's being measured very holistically through multiple parameters, right? So,
and even if you can't answer some things, the professors lead you to the right answer.
Exactly.
And it's actually sort of enjoyable if you look at it from that perspective.
Absolutely, it's a learning perspective.
Exactly.
So, now I had in the end told the 2 panelists who were taking my interview that it was great interacting with you. I hope to meet you in Indore. So that was the last thing I said. They had smiled at that last statement I made.
That was the first time you saw them smile.
Yeah. So you have to be a bold also. Don't make politically incorrect or something offensive.
Bold means saying things that show that you are genuinely enjoying the interview.
Exactly.
We started preparing for IPM in the first place because we felt that would be the most enjoyable. Right? Because
I think the preparation was enjoyable.
The preparation itself was also enjoyable. School, because this is its philosophy, school was never going to give us a preparation which was going to be heavy, learning based, boring, like marking up stuff, preparing for the interview with facts, memorizing vocabulary for English. We never did that. We actually enjoyed our classes. I think for
and
a
even
while,
for the entire interview content preparation, we read India after Gandhi for Indian history.
And our batchmates were actually shocked because we read the India after Gandhi book and that Bipin Chandra book, what was its name?
India Since Independence.
India Since Independence, that's a book that people read for IS,
UPSC preparation.
CA interview preparation.
And those books were so good, right?
We actually enjoyed it.
And there are still snippets from that book, and not only snippets, I remember a lot of stuff from India and I actually feel good that I can still recall it because I've taken a lot of enjoyment in reading that book. So
we got to learn a lot from it, and it really opened up.
And even the math, I became extremely fond of math.
The math especially, that was amazing. I remember actually between this preparation for a while I was feeling quite underconfident. I was not sure if I was going to actually make it finally, but I was still showing up to the class. This was an online class because it was in the middle of the COVID time. I was still showing up to the class, I was still participating, and not because I was trying to get through. It was because I really enjoyed that class. And not for a single day was I like, today I'm not going to, attend this class because this is just getting too much. It was never a rush. It was always interesting, and that's really the philosophy behind our success, I would say, right? Not just for the interview, as we were talking about originally, but also for the exam.
Just to give you some perspective about how helpful that math has been. So, when we did probability and permutation and combination and all of that, for the preparation, we went through a lot of proofs, right?
Yeah.
We learned how to approach problems from the fundamental principles. Now, when in college, there was an exam that I had for statistics, and I had forgotten one of the things. I just remembered how to approach it. So I actually worked it out in the middle of the exam, and I had the way to solve the sum and did it, and it turned out to be correct. So it gives you a lot of gratification, right? You feel that you are in control of the concepts that you have mastered over these years.
And when you are able to do that sort of thing over and over again, the confidence that gives you is
immense.
Really something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Even on the exam center, I remember the day we showed up. We weren't tense or nervous. Actually, we were thinking about anything but the exam. I was having fun with all of us were sort of sitting together in the exam hall. I was having fun, poking a little, teasing you a little because you were sitting there for 2 hours and you really needed to go to the washroom.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that story now.
I think that was really funny. What happened was we were really taken by the books. We were trying to play it safe. We showed up at 7:30 sharp. That's what the instructions.
Was check-in time for us.
Yeah, and the exam was not going to start before 10 o'clock.
10 or 10:30.
So at 7:30 sharp, we went to the exam hall, not realizing that you are not allowed to go out for washroom or any such thing. So we were sitting there, and you had to go to the washroom.
Yeah.
I think you should tell this story.
So now, okay, don't think of me. Think of yourself. Now, think you are in a room, and that room just has students all around, and you are staring at a blank screen. Okay, all sorts of abstract thoughts kept coming into my mind. I kept thinking about, okay, what are the weird things I thought, who among these other people are going to go to Indore? Okay, then how is campus like?
This guy does not look like someone to make friends with if he does go in.
Exactly. So, okay, I did not have that judgment, but okay, So now I was thinking all sorts of abstract thoughts. Okay, how am I going to enjoy tonight in Kolkata? One exam done. Tomorrow I am Rohtak exam. Okay, all sorts of things I was thinking of. And after a point, I really needed to go to the washroom. But the guy who was there, the doctor, he said we are not allowed. And here, literally, I was in a desperate situation. Okay.
Even once you ask that, you can speak with a senior person, maybe he can make an exception.
Exactly. I get them all excuses. I even sacrificed my kidneys for them. But I was not allowed to go. So by the time the exam had started and 2 sections had gotten over, my primary objective in the English section was not to do very well in the section. It was, okay, let this get over. I need to go out and go to the washroom. Okay.
But this guy got here and won. Then I can't.
I mean, it was crazy, and that was like an experience that I would not like to relive again.
So, go to the washroom before the exam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just wait outside the door.
Yeah.
Don't enter.
You don't have to enter the exam hall.
Yeah.
Right when the rules ask you to, you can wait a little.
Just confirm once with the person who's there nearby.
Don't come late to the center, but you don't have to go into the exam hall. So you can wait in the corridor. Just go in when everyone else does.
Exactly.
And go to washroom last time before going in. Yeah, that was some experience.
And on top of that, the other sad thing that happened was, I had expected the room to be like super chilled because of the heavy blast of the air conditioning.
We were actually prepared for the eventuality that we would be sitting in front of one of the AC fans and we were going to freeze to death.
Yeah.
So we took like heavy clothing with us.
It was not even like I wore a half sleeve dress or something.
You wore like a hoodie.
I wore a hoodie and went, okay. And at the middle of the exam, I really want to go to the washroom. And I'm sweating profusely because of the heat. Okay. So that was a Okay, that was not a very pleasant
No,
experience.
that was not good for you.
Yeah.
It was mostly fine for me.
Mhm.
I think the only inconvenience I remember was on the day of the IPMAT Rohtak exam. That was not the
a very
best
optimal experience.
experience.
Like,
I think the IPMAT Indore experience was pretty smooth.
Pretty
We had
smooth.
this bit of a hiccup to put it
biological problems.
biological problems.
Biological hiccup.
But on the IPMAT Rohtak day, I remember there was this paper shortage.
Yeah.
They did not allow you unlimited rough work like Indore did.
Mhm.
They gave you only one sheet, which got over for most people pretty soon. And then they just kept raising hands,
Yeah.
asking quite loudly for more papers. That was pretty distracting for everyone.
And also looking into the next person's screen.
That was common. IPMAT, I think the
Indore had like one space. Yeah.
separation.
Yeah.
IPMAT Rohtak, everything was packed together. Some of the technical things like what was the loan experience, because it's an expensive course, some 35 lakhs in total
For the 5 years. Yeah.
for the 5 years. So did you get the loan easily when it comes there?
So actually the loan experience is quite smooth. So it's a premium B school of the country, right? And even the banks know that if they give you loan, they are giving it to proper people. They will probably not run away, no pun intended. So they also want to give out and they want to make your experience as smooth as possible. So I, for example, got a loan from State Bank of India, the IIM Indore branch itself, quite smoothly. Most of the paperwork was done online. I just had to be there once to.
Yeah, I think that was the only slight issue that
Yeah.
before the loan could be approved, you have to.
And that was an issue because we were at the COVID time.
That was the COVID year. It's usually not an issue because
No.
you're starting the first year on campus.
Exactly. So you will be there when you have to sign. So it's a quite a smooth process and you won't face much hassle. There are people who would like to give you loans. You just have to reach out to them. That's all.
So anyway, you are on vacation right now. What's the 10-day vacation? It's at rigorous course.
10-day
How much off do you get per year? Hey, off and not like it's a job.
You're making me sad now, but I get Sundays off on weekend every week.
So Sundays every week.
Yeah.
Sounds like something that you cannot take for granted.
About right, yeah. And you get a 10-day term break for the first 2 terms of every year. And for the last term, that's the year-end break that you get.
Okay. This is the yearly break for you.
I am getting a
That's
year-end
a
break.
little longer.
15 days, 5 days longer.
So you're going back next week.
Yeah, I'm going back on Saturday.
And beginning your second year.
Second year,
Yeah. So I'll get to see you 3 months later.
Sure, yeah. Good to see you too.
This was a nice chat.
Absolutely. I also love talking with you. A bit formal setting, but yeah, love the conversation.
I think we can get some
Yeah.
tea and biscuits.
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
See you soon again.
See you soon. Yeah, bye.